Speaker's Corner. 200-year history, freedom of speech. We can say what we like.
Except when the communists are here.
They should walk around.
They're following their leaders actually on the project of silencing Christians. And this is what it is. No, you are. Look at your badge. Look at your head. Yeah, on the hat. That's the Masonic. You are all Masons. You are Masons, my friend. Before you know it, or possibly you know it, or you are a member of it. They are. That checkerbox is the Masonic. Yes. They are all Masons. That's what it is.
Let's talk about Marxism. Did you know he traded in the stock markets at the end of his life? Yeah. He abandoned his own ideas. Marxism is responsible for the deaths of 100 million people. If you support a Marxist ideology, you are as bad as a Nazi or as a fascist. The gulags of Russia led to the death of 20 million people at the hands of Stalin. Chairman Mao and his Cultural Revolution led to the death of 40 million people. The communists are responsible for the blood of tens of millions of people, and they have hijacked the cause of injustice that is suffered by Afro-Americans in the USA. They have co-opted it for ideas that are not intrinsic to tackling the problems that are faced by the Afro-Caribbean community in America. I'll get to that. I will. The problem that is faced in America is about the poor training of police.
Hitler the Christians.
That is what it's about. Millions of Christians died at the hands of communists. Black Lives Matter don't care about the lives of tens of thousands of Christians in Nigeria who are being butchered by Islamists. They have nothing to say about that. Black Lives Matter have nothing to say about the trading in black slaves of Africans by Islamists. They've got nothing to say about that.
55 million in First World
Black
War.
Lives Matter have adopted a narrative that is true to the USA about the plight of Afro-Caribbean Americans, but is not true to the UK. The Afro-Caribbean community of the UK arrived in the UK under entirely different circumstances to that which led to the Afro-Caribbeans arriving in the Americas. Afro-Caribbeans came to the UK as free citizens from free countries given to them by colonial powers, independent of those colonial powers, as a free choice. Yes, there were abuses. Yes, there are injustices, but they are not the same kind of injustices as the Afro-Caribbeans are facing in the USA. It is a totally different set of circumstances. Afro-Caribbeans in the USA arrived as a result directly of the slave trade. And the injustices that they face is that when they were emancipated from slavery, they started at the bottom of society, and those indifferences, those imbalances were never corrected. And so there is a need to tackle those injustices. But we must not supplant narratives that are true to the USA, to the UK, as if they are the same thing. More white people have died at the hands of the police than black people, both in the USA and in the UK. That's just what the stats tell us. But the media doesn't focus in on it when it's a white man dying at the hands of properly trained police. The issue is about police training. The fact of the matter is that American police are recruited not federally, but by each state. So there is no uniformity in recruitment, background checks, or training before they are armed. The issue that needs to be tackled is the level of training that American police officers receive before they are given a gun and the license to use it. That's the real issue. There is an issue of poverty that needs to be addressed. But let's be clear, America has done much to address those injustices. Every office in America is now open to every citizen of America if they have the merit and, incidentally, the money to get there. As evidenced by Condoleezza Rice, Powell, or Barack Obama. The highest offices of American state have been run by people of colour. It is wrong to say that America is racist today. There are aspects of America that still need to be corrected, absolutely. But the mantra of the Marxists is to kidnap and manipulate these injustices, to co-opt these injustices to a wider agenda that has nothing to do with sorting out these agendas, but rather has everything to do with carrying out the wishes of a malevolent ideology known as Marxism that has been responsible for the millions, the deaths of hundreds of millions of people. So, he says that I'm lying. He says that I'm lying. If you allow me a minute, I will correct you. Allow me to correct you. What we have is another triggered lefty who can't do reasonable debate because they're all whipped up on emotion and they are unable to reason. That is the failure of liberal progressive thought. It whips people up into hatred rather than reasonable discussion. No, he says that neoconservatism has led to the deaths of hundreds of millions of people. He is absolutely right. It has led to the deaths of hundreds of millions of people. Luckily for me, I am not a neoconservative. I am a Christian, not a neoconservative. But does the fact that neoconservatism has led to the deaths of hundreds of millions of people change the fact that communism has also led to the deaths of hundreds of millions of people? Can these truths not be true at the same time? Are they mutually exclusive? This is the incognitive dissonance of an Islamist. And he is an Islamist. He supports terrorist groups. Do you condemn Hamas? Yes.
Hamas are freedom fighters.
There you go. He is an Islamist. He is an Islamist. The anti-racists are here calling white people white bastards. He's grabbing other people's legal property. He's grabbing people's... You don't have to... We're going to have a chat.
Basically, what's clear is how can you justify having unprotected
Alright, what happened there? That Islamists.
So there you go. The Islamists in the park often go around calling me a white crusader. Why do they want to do that? For the emotive reaction that they hope to engender. But I condemn anyone who kills without just cause. Anyone who attacks Muslims like the terrorists did in New Zealand. I condemn him outright. He was wrong. But when I asked him about whether he condemns Hamas, an anti-Semitic group that killed Jews outside of Israel, civilians in Argentina, he said Hamas are freedom fighters. And then he called me a white bastard. So who's the racist and who's the Islamist? And that's the problem with the liberal progressive left. They have abandoned reasonable debate, and all they have is emotive name-calling, stirring up the emotions. But if you do the same to them, they accuse you of dog whistle politics, whilst doing dog whistle politics themselves. There are reports coming out of Portland, America, of a Trump supporter who held a plaque saying Blue Lives Matter. In other words, he was saying that the lives of the police matter. He was killed by Antifascista, that terrorist organisation that the British government allows to operate freely in the UK. He was killed, and the Antifascista celebrated the death of this man. It was recorded on video, them saying that they do not care that this man died. But imagine their reaction if someone was to say that about their deaths, if someone killed one of them. Imagine the mourning, the platitudes, the laying of flowers on the ground, the demand that all the world should mourn with them. But yet they celebrate the deaths of others quite freely. Well, the Bible has a response for all of you. That God takes no joy in the death of the unrighteous. He takes no joy in the death of sinners. It breaks the heart of God when anyone dies without knowing or accepting his love. So which is better for our world? The narrative of hate spewed by the left, the Marxists, the liberal progressives, their spiteful, vengeful, hateful envy of the other, or the hatred of the right, who despises people for no reason at all except for the colour of their skin, or the hatred of the Islamists, who say we support anti-Semitism in Hamas, we seek to oppress the Christian and the Jew, we will kill apostates, like Muslims in the park say regularly, like Ali Dawah or Muhammad Hijab, or the way of the Christian that celebrates the death of no one, the righteous or the unrighteous. In fact, the only deaths we celebrate are those of our martyrs, those who died for the faith, those who died for the gospel, those who died for the cross. That is our way, to love all and to have hatred for none. But don't mistake that with pacifism. Christians are not pacifists. We do not follow a doctrine of pacifism as a moral obligation. We simply do not seek revenge.
Impregnated, putting a woman in